What if you could have trading software that scanned the market for COT trading signals and seasonality and what the institutional traders are doing and retail trading sentiment to see what the crowd is doing and produce tradable signals sent to you through software each day? Introducing the A1 EdgeFinder, our project that we've been working on for weeks and are finally releasing to the public. Let's check it out. What you're looking at is the A1 EdgeFinder. This is a software tool that our team here in Atlanta at A1 Trading has been putting together and designing for weeks. And we are so excited to finally be releasing it to the public. And what it does, you can see there's a whole bunch of stuff on the screen. I'm going to explain it all here in this video. What it does is it scans for a list of very important metrics. And you can see the metrics listed at the top of the screen. You have things like COT data, interest rate divergence, retail sentiment, seasonality, the trend. And then you can also see that there is a signal provided with targets, pullback zones, stop loss ideas, all sorts of stuff listed on this one view. Now, whether you're trading pound dollar or another one, you may want to see overall ideas, biases, and readings for all of these important metrics. For example, what's the GDP comparison of the British pound or the UK versus the US, right? You can do that within this, and the whole point behind this software tool is to bring you data to help you find an edge. That's the whole purpose of the A1 EdgeFinder, hence the name. And so let's go over a look at the market summary page. Right now, the currency list here, as well as gold and the S&P 500, scans 10 assets. In the future, this may be more, but again, with version 1, we've stuck to the major 10 that we saw most important in our own trading that we figured might be helpful to traders that are also interested in using some trading software. You've got things like dollar yen, pound yen, euro yen, S&P, gold, the Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar, dollar CAD, pound dollar, and of course, euro dollar. And what this is doing is it's actually producing a signal for each of these major markets real time. Which is really, really exciting. So what this thing is doing is it's basically taking a combination of metrics, as you saw on that previous screen, which we'll go back and explain more in just a second, a list of major components, things like the COT reports, the interest rate divergence between a currency pair, the retail sentiment, seasonality, and trend reading. It's assigning scores to each one of these. A more positive score means that it will rank higher as a potential buy. A more negative score will result in a negative score and potential sell signal like we see here on euro dollar. So what this thing is doing is it's listing currency pairs that are more considered a buy, things like dollar yen, pound yen, and euro yen at the time of recording this, compared to more sell biased currency pairs like dollar CAD, pound dollar, and euro dollar. So this is the coolest thing that we have put together here at A1 Trading, I think, ever. This has been something that, again, we've spent countless hours, so many hours designing and planning for this, and finally have released it. Now, I just want to say right now, before I get too far in this video, this is a paid product, but we do already have a free version available. And there is a link down below in the description right now if you would like access to the free version. It doesn't have all of this stuff, but it does have some features available to you. You're welcome to click that link and get the access to the free version right now. Okay, so here's the thing. If we go into euro dollar, for example, or let's say, actually we'll do pound dollar because we were looking at that before. If we're looking at the pound dollar, there's a whole bunch of things that you may want to consider before you take a buy trade or a sell trade on the pound dollar if you trade GBP pairs. For example, this thing has an overall bias of a sell. But why is that? Well, the score is broken out up here, and let's go into each component. The COT data, which is right here. Take a look at this. So the COT data is telling us something. It's giving us a bias on the British pound against the US dollar. Right now, GBP has 30% of institutional traders are long, whereas 69, 70% are short. So this gives us a short outlook on the pound itself. And then the US dollar has a 76% long percentage, whereas we have 23, 24% on the short side, telling us that, okay, institutional traders seem to be buying USD and selling pound. So in the end, what happens? We get a negative COT data score, resulting in a more sell bias based on the COT data. But that's not the only thing we want to look at. What about interest rate divergence? Well, we know that the UK offers an interest rate and the US offers an interest rate, but what's the difference between them? Well, right now I happen to know that the UK offers 0.75 and the US offers 0.5. The difference between that is a higher interest rate offered by GBP by 0.25. This chart, this software has already pulled in that information and shown it to you and given us a plus 0.25% bias towards GBP. And that's why we see a +1 in the interest rate divergence category. So now we've crossed these out. These are a +0 right now. We don't have any bias on the pound dollar, but let's keep going. Next is retail sentiment. What's the crowd doing on the pound dollar? Well, we can see it right here. Here's the retail sentiment category, and we see that 81% of retail traders are currently long, which is a very high percentage, whereas 19% of retail traders are short. This is telling us that the retail crowd, which tends to lose money, is super long biased. So that actually tells us we probably want to be more on the short side, and in this category we get a -1 ranking, which adds to the overall score. Seasonality is our next one, and this is the newest feature that we have ever had in any of our software tools. We have never actually really messed around too much with seasonality, but we have officially added it to this dashboard, and it is available to you once you get the premium version. So, seasonality, right here in the bottom right. This is a lot to look at first, but here's what you need to know. This is a month-to-month historical performance of the pound against the dollar. And the reason that that matters is that if you know historically that the month of April tends to be positive, which is the month that we're in when I film this, the month of April tends to be positive, then seasonality, and you can see it just updated right in front of us, seasonality is positive, right? So we have a +1. So this month tends to be slightly positive for the pound dollar. Okay, so we want to be considering more on the buy side because of that. That adds to our 1. So now we have +1, -1, -1, +1. Now finally, the trend reading. This chart right here, simply put, is basically telling us what the trend is. And when we have a strong downward trend, that's going to involve a negative reading. And if we have a strong positive trend, it's going to be a strong positive trend. So overall, there's a bit of mixed sentiment here, but overall we get a -2 for this, which is a strong sell reading based on the trend. So we have the pound dollar really moving lower right now when we're recording this. So that gives us a sell bias on this chart. Okay, so you can see all the different information. We have the 14-day moving average, 7-day moving average, 4-day moving average. The software is taking this into account. It's giving us a trend reading, punching out a -2, and overall, adding everything up, we get a -2 score and results in a sell bias. It's not a strong sell bias, but it is a sell bias nonetheless. So this ultimately results in the pound dollar on our market summary page giving us a sell reading. It's not a strong sell like euro dollar. It's not a strong buy like dollar yen. Speaking of dollar yen, why don't we go try out dollar yen? See what's going on with the dollar against the Japanese yen. This is an example of a super strong market where you can actually see that the dollar yen is resulting in a positive score in all categories. So this might be a market that you had no idea was so strong and had no idea that maybe there's some good opportunities to look for in this. And suddenly you see, well, retail sentiment is very short. We have a strong interest rate divergence, positive for the dollar. COT data telling us that the dollar is very strong relative to the Japanese yen. Seasonality telling us it's potentially a positive month. You've got historical data to look at here. And all said and done, the dollar yen is a strong potential buy. And not only that, you guys, here's the other thing. It's giving us ideas, pullback zones. 123.56 to 122.43 is considered a potential pullback buy zone for people interested in looking at the dollar yen. And with that, you also get an aggressive and conservative stop loss reading that you may want to consider if you're going to look to place trades. Now, of course, there is no guarantee with anything in markets, but this is giving you ideas. It's giving you concepts to look into. And instead of having to go bit by bit at the COT data, the retail sentiment data, the seasonality data, instead of having to go find these things online, which some of them you can find online, this is bringing it all into one single view, and within 1 minute, you can get a snapshot of each particular market. You get a conservative stop loss idea, and you get targets to consider with your ideas. So where could you see this market going next? We have ideas at 124.06, right? So you get an aggressive stop loss, you get conservative stop loss, a potential range range to look for entries, etc., etc. And there you go. You can see it's updating with new data as we go along. Again, we can compare the GDP growth of these two countries. Here's the US, right? Growing pretty strong compared to the Japanese economy. It's growing, but not nearly as quickly. That may be a positive bias towards the dollar. So all said and done, dollar yen looks very attractive. Now, again, this thing has markets for several other ones. And if you ever have any questions, just head over to the help section and read up on what each category does and how it's calculated. Again, when I tell you guys that we've put in so many hours designing this thing and working with developers, it is not an understatement. We have been seriously working so hard to put this together. And yes, it is available now. There is a free version in the description, but if you would like to get the full version, which gets you all the scans and you don't want to mess around, if you are serious about your trading and you would like something like this is something that we are going to be using. This is going to be helpful to, to so many traders who are looking for market scans and simplicity in their trading. Don't spend 4 hours looking at the screen. Just spend short periods of time, get your ideas on paper, and then go for whatever you decide to trade. This is exactly what we are trying to do. We're trying to bring software tools that have not been built before in the currency market for traders looking to go that next level. If you would like access to the A1 EdgeFinder, we are making it available to the public. Again, there's a free version. It doesn't have too much available, but if you'd like to just play around with it and try it, you get access to like a free scan on just one of these charts, which is kind of cool. But if you would like to get the full version, there will also be a link down below in the description if you'd like to go ahead and sign up and get access to the A1 EdgeFinder. That link will be down below. I want to invite you to click that. Sign up if you have interest in getting access to the tool. Again, there will be more exciting features being rolled out in the future, but for now, version 1 is now available by the time you see this video. We are so excited to be releasing it to the public. If you have any questions, there will be links down below in the description to chat with us, to ask us your questions if you'd like to reach out. But we're so excited about this, and we're really excited to hear some of your feedback with what you guys think. For those of you who do get started with this, if you do get into the A1 EdgeFinder, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your feedback. We want to continue to improve this tool and to make it better and better for our active traders who are looking forward to finding an edge. That's the whole point behind this software, is to help you look at many metrics at once to essentially help you find your edge in your trading. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the thumbs up, share with a friend if you'd like access. The link is down below in the description. And with that said, thank you very much, and hope to see you inside of the platform and hear from you soon. Thanks for watching.